Hello, welcome to Forage Drops. My name is Lilian Silva. I'm the Forage's Research and Extension Specialist for Clemson University in South Carolina. And today I'm talking about um, determining moisture on forages, especially in baleage. So let's get started. So just as an introduction for some of you that may not be as familiar with the difference between hay and baleage or haylage, is that when we are talking about hay, we're talking about a material that has around 10 to 15% moisture, sometimes even up to 18%. And for our general Southeast region, we would be doing hay using Bahia grass, Bermuda grass, fescue, some of those grasses that are more adapted to our general region. Then baleage has higher moisture, so we this is a material that has around 40 to 60% of moisture at baling, and generally we usually use some cool season forages, especially small grains for baleage, and we can also use some grasses, some warm season grasses, and it's very important when we are going to harvest that material for as a point of determining the quality of that forage that feed later. But also it's important to properly work on the moisture that that material will have at baling. So generally, some of the main advantages of using baleage encompass the decrease on drying time. For some forage, sometimes we might be looking at a window between 3 to 5 days in a for hay, while for baleage we may be able to bale that material in 1 to 3 days. So this is especially important when we are talking about the weather on summer in the southeast region, when we tend to have more rainfall, more often rainfall, and that can be a situation that it's going to rain on the material that's drying, and that can impact the quality of that material because it's going to leach some of the nutrients that's in the plant. And that also helps with reducing the losses in dry matter as well. And generally, haylage or baleage is a material that's going to ferment, and it takes some time for that material to ferment after the bales are properly but should be stored after baled with several layers of plastic, and that's going to take around 80 or more weeks for depending on the forages we just baled, and it's going to be an important step to wait until that material has stabilized, just because it's going to be affecting the quality of that material, not only at the point that you open the bale, but also afterwards. If you don't use that material at once, it's going to be impacting later. So like I said, the drying time depends on the forage species, the weather conditions as well. The air temperature, the moisture, the humidity in the air will be things that will be impacting how long a forage will have to stay on an area to be dried. And the correct moisture will impact the fermentation conditions, but also it will impact the conditions to develop a spoilage. There's a microwave test that some folks usually do Some people have sensors to help determine the moisture, but the microwave test is an option as well. It's very important to remember to use a different microwave than the one that you use for your household. When you're drying for, just like I'll explain in the next few minutes, uh, the smell of that will stick inside the microwave, so you don't want to be using the same equivalent for food as well. So it's basically you're gonna need a glass of water and replacing that water as this process goes forward. And then have a plate with a sample of that forage that you just around the windrows and collect some samples and really homogenize it that inside a bucket, then collect a subsample of that amount that was inside the bucket. And you do want to use a scale. This can be a bathroom or a kitchen scale. You need to know the weight at you start. And here I'm just suggesting a weight. You can use whatever weight you'd like to, but enough that's going to fit inside that plate. And then you need to know the weight at the beginning. And you are going to be putting the plate with samples with a glass of water inside the microwave and setting to high for 2 minutes. And after that time, you take the plate out and you weigh and see how long it's going to take to stabilize on these cycles of 2 minutes. Something that's very important is to change the water before it starts boiling, because the water is just balancing that environment, so the plants are just losing the water there, and you're going to be able to get to a stable weight that's going to help you determine the moisture that you had there. So basically, at after some cycles of that process of 2 minutes inside the microwave, you get to a point that you see that wave has stabilized from the previous wave. And then you can use this calculation here, this formula to just get the percentage of moisture that you have on that forage at that point. There are some additives that you can use. There are some good ones available. It's always good to check which ones are recommended for the forage type that you're using. Sometimes if you're having to bale something that you know it's higher moisture than it should, sometimes this can be a way, something to help with that process. And something that's very important to remember is that the quality of the product will be only as good at the end of that process as the forage that you put in. So none of the additives or the fermentation process will actually change the quality of the material a lot, or sometimes not to any extent. So it's not like you're going to be adding crude protein or TDN by really using an additive. You're trying to actually minimize the losses that you're having, and really though the management that you do for the forages and the management that you're doing during this process will be what actually counts more, and it's going to be affecting the feed quality of that feed stuff that you're going to have. With this, I conclude what I wanted to share today. If you have any questions, please email me on this address on the screen. I'm really glad that you caught up with this video today. I hope you follow up on the Forage Jobs Facebook and YouTube page, and can check more of the content that I've been producing. Thank you so much.